Alrighty, welcome back to another episode of ADHD and Crochet. And I'm going to start off with a mild apology for being human. And scheduling just happened so that I ended up missing out on the last week of December. But I didn't really have anything prepared anyways, so it's fine. So we're going to start off the year with a video. Now I have a few different things here. I've got a couple unicorns, as you can see. These are a new pattern for me to try. And I'm going overboard. I'm actually in the process of making a third one as well. But we're going to start with this white one here. We'll get through at least one unicorn. I have no idea how long it's going to take to sew these together. But we only have four parts per unicorn to sew together. The tail, the head, the horn, and the mane. I'm going to start back here at the tail because I can. Now I also have like a little Grim Reaper Ghost of Christmas Past, just a dark hooded figure really, that we can work on as well. But I'm not sure what I want to do with it yet. It's kind of been sitting here staring at me in all its faceless glory. And I am requesting food at the moment because it is the middle of the day for me. Middle of the day, I haven't had lunch yet. I'm not really hungry because I've been drinking soda. But it's fine. And by I've been drinking soda, I'm halfway through a can, but it makes me not very hungry. I don't know if anybody else has that happen to them. Now, this pattern is from one of my favorite pattern makers, um, Megan Lapp, and it's been an interesting one. I think this is one of her older patterns. Um, Similar to same techniques as usual that I expect from her stuff. Um, but the part was actually kind of both easy and difficult to read, in my opinion. Um, it vaguely tells you like once or twice in an off page after you've already made the part which part is number one, which one is number two, and where to mark the stitches on them. And then when you get to the body, it tells you to attach a certain way, starting with like one, leg two, and so on. It does not tell you that it is moving, that it's working from the back of the body to the front of the body. So you are first attaching the back legs and then attaching the front legs. Well, it's back leg, back leg, um, is how that round goes. So I definitely did it wrong the first time and got a little frustrated. I had to undo and redo it. But I have a physical book, so I made myself some notes. Now sue me for marking up a book, but it's fine. Alright, so we have the tail attached. Now this unicorn should be able to stand up on its own as well. The legs, each leg has wire in it. There's also wire in the horn. That's why it's getting all a little bit bent up and funky looking. But it should be able to stand up on its own. So we have made our knot, hidden our string, so we'll snip that away. Now I do have another little string here to hide, so I am just going to line up my needle. It is very short, but I don't want it sticking out. Alright, so our tail is done. The pattern for this also told me to have like 4 things of the curly hair. I did 3 because my patience for this project was running thin. I wanted to move on to the next one. Now I am going to remove the hair just because it is kind of in the way of the head that I need to attach. So I'm just going to take off the first 3 of it. I'm going to leave the rest alone. I'm not going to bother with the horn at all because even if I take this off, there's just a pipe cleaner sticking out there. So I'm just going to focus, pardon me, on attaching the head. Now, I don't know how this happened, but this particular unicorn was the second one I made, and the head, for some reason, turned while I was making it. It does not look bad, I just don't know how to replicate it. It actually looks quite nice, it gives it more dimension being turned like that. I don't know how to do it on purpose. So I'm making a third one. That is not the only reason why I'm making a third one, but it is a valid reason why I'm making a third one. Now, the real reason I'm making a third one, and in process of making a third one, is because the main color that I used for this one, I also made for the first one, the blue and white one over here that has the purple mane. I used the same yarn for that hair as well, in that style that the purple is currently in. There are 2 styles of mane and tail. And I decided I didn't like the colors on the blue accents as much because the mane and tail curls and whatnot they had too many warm colors in it. Needed a cooler color to go with those bright blue accents. They look fantastic with this bright pink though. I love that. But I just wasn't loving the blue accented one as much. So I made a new hair and tail accent or color with just solid purple, and I think it looks great. Now I have this mane and tail floating around, attached to nothing. So I was thinking, I'll just make another one. In a different color. So the body and accents of that one are going to be this pink and maroon that I have here. So that's in progress. I probably won't put it together on camera because I think doing 2 unicorns is enough. Now I used a smaller yarn than the pattern calls for. It calls for a size 4. I used 1.6. So my hands hate me. I actually need to get new compression gloves because my hands hate me. Hi, Panzer. But it's all good. It's all gravy. Now, if you haven't been able to tell, I've been needing to be quite careful about where I hold the unicorn head because there are pins still sticking through it because this is quite small. Now, I say it's quite small. This is actually a very large pattern. If I used a size 5 yarn, it would be cat sized. It would be the size of size 4 yarn. I think it already tells me it's going to be like 10 inches tall or something like that, which is a little bit crazy. Not gonna lie. Xander is deciding to scream in the background, so if you can hear him, you're welcome, I guess. You know which cat that is. If you can't hear him, just imagine a cat deciding to be noisy just for the sake of being noisy, because they have been fed. Fed them right before I started this. Drink. Root beer is good. Alright, now we come to a difficult part, and a part that's actually going to help me shape this unicorn a little bit more. I think I want the head more down. I'm just going to hold it like that and start stitching the neck and underside accordingly. And I kind of want my stitches to be a little more invisible, so I'm going to be very careful choosing where these go. And if I sound a little nasally, I'm not sick. It's just very cold. Everything gets a little congested and drippy when it's cold. I believe it has something to do with condensation. And I am pulling these stitches a bit tight. I want to make sure they're not going anywhere. And I'm going to reuse this spot with the stitch as I kind of secure it further and start making my way up here. Now I have the head pretty much attached, so I don't think I need this pin anymore. I want everything to be as flush as possible. Making sure I go in the edge here. I am going to work around this string, so I'm just going to hide it and snip it off later. I wasn't sure how much string I was going to need. I just kind of gave myself more than necessary. It kind of tells me to do that anyways. It tells me to leave like 2 feet worth of string, and it's a little excessive, honestly. Alright, so we've made it back up to the ears. The head is right where I want it, tilted just a little bit down. We're going to go ahead and make our little knot here. And we're apparently going to just wrap the string around the entire face. We've made our knot. Now we can hide our string, and the wire in the neck is getting a little bit in the way. We're just gonna go as far as we can with that. And we're gonna snip, snip right there. Now this other one, I don't think I need to adjust the head positioning at all. I think we're good there. So I am just gonna thread the needle, hide the string, and snip it off. A knot has already been made to make this string possible with fastening off the part anyways, so it's fine. This one I can hide it a little lower, a little further in. I'm gonna try and wrap around everything, so we're gonna catch that before it does. And snip, snip, it's like it wasn't even there. Now we do have our little horn. I'm gonna get that where I want it. Now I did just use pipe cleaners for these, so there's a lack of stuffing and a increase in pipe cleaner on these projects. You might see some of that pipe cleaner coming through the horn here. That's fine. I'm actually going to pin the ears out of my way. They are just ever so slightly in the way. He's getting some ear piercings today. It's fine. Alright. And the cats are having fun. And by cats, I mean Panzer is having fun messing with his sister. Peeps is not having fun. But he doesn't care. Because he's having fun. So I do want to make sure I catch every stitch and pull it as flush to the face as I can. Luckily, I believe there are only like 7 stitches. But I digress. Ease it back down there. I do actually have a cat with me. Bean is sharing my chair with me, and by sharing it, she's attempting to kick me off of it. Not working. But she has been enjoying her Christmas sweater quite a lot. One of my Christmas presents, my biggest Christmas present this year, was a dishwasher. The house I am living in does not have a dishwasher. It doesn't even really have space for a dishwasher. It's quite small. The laundry room is comically small. But, so we got a portable dishwasher, and I'm enjoying it thoroughly. Forgot how nice it was to have a dishwasher. Truly, you do not realize what you have missed until it is gone. Alrighty. So that is that. I'm going to make my knot through the horn itself to kind of try not to have too much going on against the white. And we're going to go ahead and hide this string, pull it through. And snip, snip. And then we can release those ears. There we go. Now we're going to pin this top half of the mane back in place. So, start with this one. I want it to kind of be right there. I want it to be in front of the horn. So it will end up covering that eye, but it's fine. One I want to be behind the horn and centered between the ears. And this one, center of the back of the head. The rest of them I already pinned in place. They are where I want them. Now I do need to sew this one going back to front or bottom to top, whatever you want to label that as, because that is how it was made. You started with the front of it and worked your way to the back of the mane. Now, the shape I expect to be a little tricky. It is made for one side of the unicorn, so I am going to see about testing out making it for the other side of the unicorn at some point. Probably not with the next one. I'm already testing too many things out. And I'm a little bit tired of making unicorns. I don't even like unicorns that much, if I'm being completely honest. I prefer dragons and other cooler things, not just pretty things. But here we are with 2.5 unicorns. And I'm preparing for potentially having a daughter in the future who loves girly things and unicorns and sparkles. Which these unicorns, I don't know if the camera's been picking it up, but they do sparkle. Like the white has a bit of glitter in it. Has that silver tinsel in it. Actually, I think this is iridescent tinsel. Whatever, it has tinsel in it. Now the pink one that I'm working on does not have that tinsel in it. I could add it, I'm not going to. That sounds like a lot more work that I don't want to put in. I'm already having trouble convincing myself to make the last unicorn. Now these are not going to go on my page. I intend to sell these, but I am working with someone who will be selling them in person for me, and I'm very excited for it. I'm kind of working on a small stash to give them. I've already got a few things to put in that stash. One of them is a very cute water dragon that I did make from the same pattern book as these unicorns. I did not film that one being made because I was sewing it together as I went. And I wasn't sure how long it would take to sew him together. But he turned out pretty nice. It didn't take terribly long to sew him together, despite all the different parts that he had. So I might make another one at some point. Again, I use this same really small yarn for making him as well. My hands hate me for making these projects, but they are so detailed and so cool, and I love them. Honestly, I think the media gives unicorns too much attention as these pretty girly things. Um, my personal opinion of them is that they would probably be jerks. Sure, they might be able to cure diseases or whatever, but I feel like they would choose not to. I don't think they are very nice creatures. I think they have the ability to do good things and be nice, and they just would decide to not. That's my personal take on them. Feel free to fight me on that in the comments. I don't really care. But it is my personal belief that they would be quite rude. They have a sharp object on top of their forehead, and I feel like they're going to use it as a sharp object. A lance, if you will. They would be fantastic jousters, though. They've already got the lance. Alright, so the mane is now attached. And that didn't take as long as I thought it was going to. Go ahead and hide our string now that we've made our knot. If my needle would like to go through this space, thank you. And then we can snip snip. We're gonna adjust, just fix the feet. That. Now it is just pipe cleaners in there. If this was any bigger, this would not stand, but it is standing just fine. And it's actually pretty stable once you get it on there right. So jostling the table, the camera's moving more than the unicorn is. The unicorn didn't even budge. So it's going to stand over there while I get the next one started. So this one uses a different style of mane and tail. This is the puffy cloud spiral, whereas that one was the wavy hair. And for the warmer colors, I think that wavy hair worked really nicely. For these cooler colors, I think this puffy cloud look is better. I do not like one over the other. One is not easier or harder than the other. They are just different. They are both time consuming. And again, it told me to do 4 and I did only 3 because my patience was running thin. Now, for both of these, you could make the mane and tail much more full and voluminous. I chose not to. I just kind of did the basics for both on the mane, just following the pattern as it was written, and for the tail, I did one less than what it wanted me to do. Maybe if I make a bigger one, I will make more voluminous mane and tail. But for right now, we're going to stick to what we have. Now this one was the first body I did. The head is, of course, facing forward. It is in line with the body. That is how the pattern is supposed to be. So again, I don't know what I did for the pink one, but I did something. I did something. And it turned out nice. Wish I knew what I did, because it'd be cool to replicate. but I have no idea. And once again, we are just stitching the tail on. I probably could have and probably should have done one more for the wavy tail, but I don't think it was necessary for this poofy curl tail because they are poofy enough. But it's fine. I'm not changing it. These were experimental, if you will. And honestly, I'm quite happy with how they turned out. I do not hate the product itself, just its concept. I don't like unicorns. I also don't like dolphins, which also means I don't like orcas. But that's just because of them being intelligent, and what they do with that intelligence is disturbing. Now they have their role in the oceans and whatnot, but I just don't like them. I think the media gives them a little too much pretty privilege there. So we've gone ahead and made a knot, hid that string, and snipped it off. We're going to go ahead and hide this one, a little starter string, in there as well. And didn't go in far enough, so we're just going to adjust a little bit. So we've got our tail on there. And once again, we are going to work on the head. Now this one is a little different. The pipe cleaners I ended up snipping off. There's not a pipe cleaner sticking out of its forehead. I'm also beginning to think that I did not give myself enough string to work with for that. But it's fine. We will figure it out as we go. So now it is just a horse, and I now have a gangly horse pattern that I can use. And apparently the mane just doesn't want to stay on, so we'll just take it fully off. We'll just have to spend some time repositioning, and that's fine. That's all well and good. Have some water. Alrighty. Setting that down is always super loud. Now for this one, I did not run the pipe cleaners through the rest of the body. I did cut them off just after the legs were done. So, with that, we did not have a wire to attach the horn to. But that's fine. We can pin it back on. Now this one I will probably leave the head as it's sitting currently. I think it needs to be pulled down any amount. I am going to hold it like that while I do the top of it. Now doing this was very interesting because the ears, as you may have noticed, are not a separate piece. They are part of the neck that is wrapping around here and getting sewn on, which is part of the body pattern. So once you make the legs, you crochet those on and you go all the way around up through the neck, all one piece. You detach the yarn a couple times, but it's still all one piece. And the head is separate, the horn is separate. And there's also options to give it wings. However, I don't like the options given because it's just the phoenix pattern wings. and I want more poofy wings. It needs more feathers. I'm going to try and find something for a swan. I may end up over engineering something for a swan style wing, but I want swan wings on my Pegasus, on my alicorn, whatever. We'll see what happens. At a very dangerous part of this one because there are two pins sticking straight out. Now I can remove that. Yep, no, that's not even one of the pins. I thought the ear was part of those, but it is not. I'm just in danger. It's fine. Hold the unicorn upside down. Good for their health, I swear. Oh, bumped it. It fell over. It's fine. Honestly, I probably don't need those now. We'll keep that top one in though, because it's not a danger. It's not a factor I need to take in mind for my health. There's nothing to wrap onto, but the string still wants to try. So far, each unicorn I've made has been unique in its own way. I've only made two, so that's not really much to go off of. Not a very good sample size, but it's what I have. The third one so far has started the same as both of these. It is just in a different color, so I mean, technically, I have a sample size of 3 because it is unique in its color variation. But the way they're made so far has been the same process starting as these ones. Because you start with the hooves and you work your way up. Now, I've taken the option. Putting these colors on to make a color change was optional. I did choose that option because it makes more sense to differentiate where the hooves are. But if I was doing an all white unicorn with like a different colored horn or something and that was the only difference, then yeah, I probably wouldn't bother with color change on the hooves. You wouldn't see it. It wouldn't make sense if everything is all white. But that is not the case here. I did choose to do some colors. Because I like colors, and apparently I like making things more difficult for myself too. But we have our head attached here. There are no wires in the neck, so I don't have to worry about fighting those for space. So hiding this string should be easier. Look at that, she goes right through. So we'll just pull that down. Snip, snip. I said snip, snip. Thank you. Alright. Now for this one, we're going to go ahead and position the horn again. Let's see where I want that. Right here seems to be good. Put it through. And we're going to hope that this is enough string to go around. It probably is not. Oh no. Now it looks like I'm going to need a second pin so that it does not turn on me as much. And there we go. Now this is very small, so I did not stuff it as firmly as I probably wanted to. But size does not always allow. I no longer need that pin, and I probably don't need that pin anymore. Now, bend it and not have to worry about breaking a wire. This thing is going to do what it wants to anyways. And we just got to deal with it. There we go. Just like the last one, I am going to make the knot against the horn, not the body, not against the seam either, for the sake of better hiding the string. We're going to make our little knot here. This one should again go in easier. There's no wire to fight with. Go. That off. And now we get to reposition the man. Now I have to figure out which side is the front and which side is the back. This is the back. This is the front. This is the one that's going to go in front of the ear. And right up against that horn. This one is going to go behind the ear, between the ears. Behind the horn, between the ears. And center of the neck, back of the head area. And center the next one. And the next one. Push it through. And the last one. Right there should be fine. We're calling it good. Alrighty. This one lays a lot differently than the wavy one, as you might imagine. Big shock, I know you do a different style and it lays differently. This one is apparently much more in the way. And I expect sewing it on to be a little more difficult, mostly because the tighter curls are going to want to grab that string a lot more. I'm sure I'm off center, but it's fine. I don't think anyone's really going to pay that much attention to that. Apparently we're grabbing the legs now. But now that we're out of majority of the holidays, or at least the holiday clash, I should be able to get back onto regularly scheduled videos at regular intervals with some interesting things, because I won't feel pressured to make holiday specific things. I might make some holiday specific things in advance and just kind of let them sit around until it is time. That back leg. I definitely recommend putting the wire in this one, but I understand if you're making it big and for small children, maybe don't. But if you're just making a little display piece like this, or you want a toy that's going to stand up for an older child, then the wire is awesome. It helps keep that shape. The unicorn will stand, and they're pretty stable. Get it because it's a horse. And we're coming up on our last couple stitches here. And we're going to go ahead and make our little knot up here after I grab this, apparently. Alright, so we'll make our little knot, find our string, and then we can snip snip. And we have our two unicorns. Let me know which one you like better, which style you like better, the wavy hair like this, or this is the curly hair, sorry. The curly hair like this, or the wavy hair of this other one. Doesn't want to stand up now. There we go. If you liked the video, you can let me know by liking the video. If you want more content like this, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.